Hello, welcome to PDX Garden Home. I am back. I had an opportunity to do a little bit of traveling. I'll show you a few shots of the gardens that I got to look at. A couple of gardens on the island of Oahu. I had that opportunity to travel for business and tagged a couple of days of pleasure on there, and I was gone. That's why I missed posting videos last week, but I'll show you a little bit from that in this video. And then also what I'm up to this weekend, trying to catch up on things. It's, this time of year, we're now to the beginning of October, and yeah, it's you miss a week in the garden, and there's still a lot to do. I know a lot of people have been around our area, in the Portland metro area. When I look at Facebook groups for gardening, a lot of people are putting their gardens to bed, but I certainly haven't. We've got tomatoes still going on, zucchinis, of course, all the broccoli and kale and things of that nature are still going. So, and some of the things that I planted for the fall garden are already coming in. The bok choy looks like it's just about ready, actually. Some of it's over ready. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and come along.
Well, guess what I have in my garden behind me to harvest here? That's right, more broccoli. Yeah, it's been a banner broccoli year. It carries on, and now we're into October and it's exploding again. So yeah, I'm gonna harvest. Maybe I'll get a pic for you when I've got it harvested, so you can see how much I'm getting out of it this weekend. And yeah, lots of broccoli. I did get a bunch of tomatoes as well. They're kind of on the verge of turning, but I'm at this point of the year, we're now at the beginning of October. Anything that has color, I just harvest and then let it kind of turn color on the counter. But they're still going, particularly the saucing tomatoes. A lot of the cherry tomatoes have been splitting on the vine with all the rain that we've had here in Portland, Oregon in the last week. But saucing tomatoes are still going just fine. Yeah, so October into September into October is still harvest season for us. How are you doing? I was late getting zinnias and giant marigolds behind me in the ground. I had them from the cell trays in the early spring, or well, I'd say late spring, like all the other flowers in the garden, but I didn't actually get them into this round until mid-July. And yeah, so it's taken until now. We're now beginning of October, and now we just now are seeing the giant marigolds and the zinnias pop up here. Well, as of 2 days ago, when I started this making this episode, the cherry tomatoes on the vine had all been split, but 2 days later, and I've got ripe cherry tomatoes that are not split. So the game is still on for cherry tomatoes in my garden. How about you? Hello. Well, I'm working on my compost today. The bin behind me is falling apart. It's where I've been stacking everything, and I was just pushing a lot of it toward the back to make room, because I've got all of this new stuff coming in as I'm harvesting today in the garden and cleaning up the beds. I've got lots of green that I'm having my wheelbarrow here to throw back in there. And then the other thing I'm doing is, after I throw in the green, I've got my chipped up wood chips from my little electric wood chipper, and I'm kind of mixing those in with the green as I throw it in there. And I did notice I was pulling some big branches out of the compost to throw them over into the branch pile there for future chipping. And I noticed as I was pulling the wood chips out that the branches out from the middle of the compost pile, that they were actually quite warm. So my compost pile for once is getting warm and hot. So I'm excited about that. Well, I came across something kind of interesting here. I'd forgotten about this, but I had a tomato plant where I had snapped the main stem early on in planting it. I think it was like barely hanging on by just really just barely hanging on. Like it was almost like the outer skin and maybe a little bit of the center stem. I don't remember that even the center stem was really intact, and it was really just kind of the outer skin holding it there. And so I just put it in place, and I wrapped some blue masking tape around it. And I thought, tomatoes are pretty vigorous. I wonder if this will hold, and then it will somehow
heal itself and continue on, and in fact it did. So you can see here the result of it now. You know, that would have been back when I planted it back in like June, and now we are in October, and we've got we've harvested mini saucing tomatoes off of it, and we've got several more still here that might turn ripe for us.